Captions on. Check, check. Captions on. All right, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Nutrition in the Brain. My name is Niall Petherbridge, and I'll be talking about understanding how to fuel your brain for long-term good health and function. This is my territory acknowledgement. I teach at Camosun College at the Interurban campus in Victoria, British Columbia. My learning institution is located on the traditional territories of the Algonquin and Wasanich peoples. We acknowledge their welcome and graciousness for all who come to seek their education here. We thank them for the stewardship of these lands over the many millennia. All right. Hello and welcome to Adult Learning with the Brain in Mind, PIDP 3300 live presentation. I am presenting Nutrition and the Brain, how to fuel the brain for long-term good health. I've applied a Creative Commons license, attribution, non-commercial, share alike, meaning this presentation may be remixed, adapted, and built upon as long as credit is given and the license terms stay the same. Please note, this presentation is being recorded for this assignment, submission, and will be available publicly on YouTube. What we'll be covering today, we'll talk about, in very basic terms, what is the brain? What is the brain composed of? A style of eating called the MIND diet, the importance of drinking water, just like your mom always told you, omega-3 vitamins or fats, vitamins, micronutrients, the importance of protein, items to avoid. And we will review at the end just to make sure you caught everything. So, what is the brain? The human brain is the control tower for the body, like a supercomputer, processing information and coordinating actions and responses. This organic supercomputer is made up of billions of interconnected cells called neurons in complex networks that communicate with each other using chemical and electrical signals. The brain is responsible for all conscious and unconscious behavior. It is the person we are, what we think and feel. The brain drives our needs and our desires. Kathleen Taylor states, in facilitating learning with the adult brain in mind, that ultimately, quote, the brain's prime directive has always been to keep the organism, you and I, ourselves, alive and functioning optimally, end quote. And that the brain is, quote, continuously analyzing all body systems and states. Your brain responds instantly when those readings are out of whack, working to put things back in balance, end quote. Now that we have a general idea of what the brain is, let's discuss what the brain is composed of. Johns Hopkins Medicine, Brain Anatomy and How the Brain Works states the following facts. Weighing about 1,400 grams, the average adult brain is about 60% fat. The remaining 40% is a combination of water, protein, carbohydrates, and salts. The brain itself is not a muscle, despite people suggesting they're exercising a muscle when their mind is active and learning. The brain contains blood vessels and nerves, including neurons and glial cells. On a high level, the brain consists of three general areas: the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and initiates movement, regulates temperature, enables speech, thinking, reasoning, problem solving, and functions related to all your senses: vision, touch, taste, hearing. The cerebrum is naturally divided into the two halves and is often referred to as the left and right brain. The second part of the brain is the brainstem, or middle brain. It connects the cerebrum to the spinal cord. The third part of the brain is the cerebellum. It is thought to control voluntary movement of muscles, balance, and posture. There are many lobes, parts, and structures, but for our purposes, we're going to pause with the three overarching sections. If our brain is composed of water, protein, carbohydrates, fats, and salts, then it makes sense that these nutrients are what we should be consuming to have a healthy brain. Your brain, like any complex machine, requires optimum fuel to perform at its best. A water-hydrated diet, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, vitamins, healthy fats, protein, and carbohydrates. These elements, food, spices, and nutrients, can not only provide fuel, but reduce inflammation, heal, prevent disease, enhance cognitive ability, promote brain functions, and alter moods. The Eating Well magazine special issue, The Mind Diet, describes the Mind Diet as the Mediterranean intervention for neurodegenerative delay, and as a dietary plan designed to promote brain health and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and age-related cognitive decline. It combines aspects of two well-known diets, the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet. The DASH diet is the dietary approaches to stop hypertension diet. Key components of the Mind diet are emphasis on plant-based foods. The diet encourages consuming plenty of leafy green vegetables. Whole grains with limited refined grain products. Healthy fats come from sources like olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish. Lean proteins in moderate amounts are also recommended. The Mind diet limits unhealthy foods like red meats, butter, margarine, cheese, pastry, sweets, and all the foods we love from fast food restaurants. The Mind diet allows for moderate consumption of wine, but some would suggest that alcohol is a risk factor for disease and should be avoided entirely. And we'll talk about that later. The Mind diet is based on research suggesting that certain foods and nutrients can protect the brain and contribute to cognitive function as people age. Studies have shown that adherence to the Mind diet may reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and slow cognitive decline. Sandra Dubbs concluded in her article, Food for Good Mood, in the Art of Healing magazine, quote, nuts, seeds, fish, and leafy green vegetables all contain essential fatty acids that are part of the omega-3 and omega-6 groups, end quote. And that, quote, concentration and brain function are enhanced with a diet high in these unsaturated fatty acids, end quote. Johns Hopkins Medicine assessed several studies on turmeric as a way to reduce inflammation. Why is this important? Inflammation in the brain has been linked to Alzheimer's disease and depression. One study in adults over 50 years of age found improved memory and cognitive function in the participants that consumed a turmeric supplement. Overall, the Mind diet promotes a balanced, nutrient-rich approach to eating that supports not only brain health, but also overall well-being. Like the picture, foods that are colorful, non-processed, natural, and have limited saturated fat are likely to have healthy nutrition and benefits, not just for the mind, but the body as well. Pause for water break. The importance of hydration. I'm sure many of you have heard the recommendation to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water per day to stay properly hydrated. Hypohydration is the uncompensated loss of water from our bodies, and when we begin to notice the signs that we need to replenish our water reserves, or we become thirsty. The signs of hypohydration are often referred to as being dehydrated and are more noticeable than other signs of nutrient deficiencies. The Cambridge Dictionary definition of dehydrated is more severe than hypohydration, and it states, quote, water loss so great that you feel ill or weak, end quote. Carey Health and Nutrition Institute noted that with as little as a 1% loss of water, people have difficulty focusing. When this water loss increases to 2 to 3%, brain function is impaired, short-term memory retention and cognitive performance are decreased, and subjects have slower reaction times. Although people get hydrated from foods and beverages, the Kerry Health and Nutrition Institute found fluid consumption decreases consistently as we age between 21 and 50 years old, mostly due to a reduction in water consumption. People need to be cognizant that we stop drinking water as we age, and this can affect our brain. Prowse concluded in his paper, Effects of Dehydration on Brain Functioning, a Lifespan Perspective, the different age groups were affected differently by hypohydration. School-aged children's cognitive ability declined, and attention spans were reduced. In young adults, data showed a clear pattern of mood worsening as hypohydration progressed. Does anyone have an unruly teenager at home? Maybe they need to drink some water. And in elderly subjects, even mild hypohydration causes a decline in cognitive ability. Hydration is key for our bodies to maintain all the processes required to keep us alive. Beyond water, essential nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids play a key role in brain health and function. Nutrients for brain function, the omegas. Dr. Frank Sachs from the Harvard School of Public Health states, omega-3 fatty acids, polyunsaturated fatty acids that are essential nutrients for your health. Your body requires omega-3 fatty acids for many normal body functions, such as controlling clotting and building cell membranes in the brain. And since our bodies cannot make omega-3 fats, we must get them through food. ALA, or alpha linoleic acid, is an omega-3 that is contained in vegetable oils, nuts, some green vegetables like Brussels sprouts, kale, spinach, and other leafy greens. DHA, or doxahexanoic acid, is found in fatty fish, sardines, salmon, and tuna. The importance of these nutrients cannot be understated. If you want optimum brain function and long-term good health, your body requires omega-3 fatty acids. Gomez-Pinilla F. stated in Brain Foods, the effects of nutrients on the brain function in Nature Reviews Neuroscience, quote, omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids are normal constituents of cell membranes and are essential for normal brain function, end quote. Omega-3s are also a known anti-inflammatory that can prevent damage and speed brain injury recovery, as found by James J.P. in the 2023 paper, Effects of Nutrition on Brain Function, Nutritional Perspectives from the Journal of the Council on Nutrition. Additionally, Gomez-Pinilla noted, dietary deficiency of omega-3 fatty acids in humans has been associated with increased risk of several mental disorders. These include attention deficit disorder, dyslexia, dementia, depression, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. Omega-6 fatty acids are also polyunsaturated fatty acids that are essential nutrients. Essential nutrients meaning our bodies cannot make them and we must obtain them from food. Common sources include safflower, corn, cottonseed, and soybean oils. Most North Americans consume an abundance of these oils in their daily diet. Omega-6 fatty acids lower LDL cholesterol, which your doctor will tell you is the bad cholesterol, and reduce inflammation, and they are protective against heart disease. With all the studied benefits of omega-3 fatty acids, it is never too soon or too late to boost your consumption through delicious whole foods or supplements. Vitamins and micronutrients. The complex nature of the brain requires an adequate supply of nutrients that promote its functioning. James J.P. 2023 paper, Effects of Nutrition on Brain Function, is an excellent review of many current studies on the effects of nutrition on the brain. Vitamins such as B6, B12, folate, and vitamin K are essential for a healthy brain. Vitamin B6 regulates energy utilization in the brain and is essential for synthesizing neurotransmitters. On the negative side, dementia and cognitive decline are associated with a vitamin B6 deficiency. Vitamin B6 can be found in poultry, peanuts, bananas, and oats. Vitamin K is essential in the development of healthy neurons and can be found in leafy green vegetables, spinach, collards, kale, and broccoli. Antioxidants, including lutein and beta carotene, and minerals like magnesium, zinc, calcium, promote healthy brain function. Folate, essential for a healthy nervous system, and has positive impact on mood and cognition function. Folate can be found in broccoli, liver, chickpeas, kidney beans, and leafy green vegetables. Folate is also known to improve memory, help with better processing of information, and reduce incidences, of cognitive diseases such as dementia. Lutein has also shown a beneficial impact on the brain structure and function. It is a carotenoid found in, you guessed it, carrots, but also bell peppers, kale, oranges, and mangoes. Lutein is an antioxidant that fights damage to cells caused by free radicals and can integrate into the fatty membranes of brain cells, protecting neurons for oxidative damage. Beta carotene is another antioxidant sourced from the same vegetables as lutein and has similar healthful properties, as well as documented improved blood circulation. Protein. People require protein for brain function because proteins contain amino acids that are used by the brain for the synthesis of neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are the chemicals that carry signals from one nerve to the other in the brain. However, it does matter how much protein and what the source of the protein is. Proteins that come from animal sources such as meat, eggs, milk, as well as soy, quinoa, called complete proteins. This means they contain all the essential amino acids the body needs and are the highest quality sources. Jeanette Restivio in the 2023 High Protein Foods, the Best Protein Sources to Include in a Healthy Diet from the Harvard Health Publishing from Harvard Medical School cited the following sources of recommended protein. Lean meats like chicken, turkey, beef, and pork. Fish such as salmon, tuna, mackerel, which also contain the omega-3s we discussed previously. Dairy products, cheese, milk, yogurt, also a great source of protein. Beans, peas, lentils, nuts, seeds, including almonds, hazelnuts, walnuts, peanuts, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, are all great protein sources. Whole eggs contain all the essential amino acids, making them a complete protein source and an excellent choice. Quinoa is a plant-based protein source, that is also a complete protein. Soy products such as tofu and tempeh are good sources of protein, especially for vegetarian and vegan. The Tian Shin Yi et al. 2022 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating plant-based protein was associated with lower odds of developing cognitive decline later in life. Quote, for every 5% of calories that came from plant protein instead of carbohydrates, which are meat-based proteins, researchers observed a 26% lower risk for developing dementia in a study of 75,000 adult American participants, end quote. For protein food sources, higher intakes of beans, legumes, fish, and lean protein were significantly associated with lower odds of subjective cognitive decline. Higher intake of processed animal proteins, such as, quote, hot dogs, end quote, was associated with higher notably higher odds of subjective cognitive decline. Managing quality and quantity of protein for long-term brain health. All right, what should we stay away from? Just say no. Alcohol, processed foods, refined sugars. A new study is delivering a clearer message. Eating ultra-processed foods is linked to a greater risk of cognitive impairment and strokes. In the Behave VM Boldelay CR et al. Study analysis in 2024, associations between ultra-processed foods consumption and adverse brain health outcomes found increasing the intake of ultra-processed foods by just 10% was associated with significant increase of stroke, risk of stroke, and cognitive impairment. Conversely, consumption of unprocessed or minimally processed foods was associated with a lower risk of cognitive impairment. Study participants who reported following a healthy diet and consumed minimal ultra-processed foods appeared to maintain better brain health compared to those who followed similar healthy diets but had more ultra-processed foods, concluding that your healthy diet does not undo the damage of eating highly processed foods. Why might ultra-processed foods be bad for your brain? Reason number one, increased cortisol levels that mimic being under chronic stress, which can directly impact hippocampal and frontal lobe function, affecting memory and executive function and performance. UPFs, or ultra-processed foods, are generally composed of processed carbohydrates that are very quickly broken down into simple sugars. These sugar loads cause spikes of insulin, which can alter normal brain cell function. Number three, increased risk for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other neurodegenerative diseases due to inflammatory molecules traveling to the brain. Number four, because ultra-processed foods have poor nutritional value, people will often be hungry shortly thereafter, and then lead them to overeat and overconsumption consequences. What about alcohol? You may have heard about past studies that have suggested a moderate amount of alcohol can be good for you. However, like cigarettes, new information is coming to light. The Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction, 2023, released its new guidelines on alcohol consumption in Canada. It radically reduced the recommended consumption of alcohol to 2 standard drinks per week from the 14 standard drinks for men or 10 standard drinks for women per week. The website states that no alcohol consumption is a health benefit and any consumption at all is a health risk. Both the World Health Organization and the World's Heart Federation agree with the CCSA recommendation. The CCSA report notes it in numerous study references that alcoholic beverages contain nitrates, which have been linked to memory loss, that alcohol affects blood flow to the cerebellum, the portion of your brain associated with coordinating thoughts. Additionally, heavy drinking, which is more than 3 drinks in one session, increases the odds of dementia and encourages its early onset. What can we do for better brain health and function? Number one, avoid alcohol and processed foods, which can include chips, snacks, industrial breads, pastry, candy, sugars, sweetened sodas, diet sodas, instant noodle, ready-to-eat meals, frozen dinner, processed meats like hot dogs, bologna, and salamis. What can you do? Eat unprocessed or minimally processed foods, which when combined with a healthy Mediterranean diet, our Mediterranean menu of foods include fish, olive oil, avocados, whole fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, and whole grains. All right, to review. Here's a great image for a recap from Thais Martins Metzler et al. Study in Pursuit of Healthy Aging, Effects of Nutrition on Brain Function from the International Journal of Molecular Sciences. What do we need to eat? As we discussed, we need fat, Omega-3s and omega-6s are needed for membrane building and protection of neurotransmitters. Omega-3s have anti-inflammatory effects for brains, and fish is an excellent source. Your body needs carbohydrates coming from whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. These provide energy and fuel the brain. Complex carbs, not simple carbs like sugar, that cause spikes in insulin and hamper brain function. Thirdly, your brain requires protein. Protein delivers essential amino acids and are required to synthesize neurotransmitters. Lean proteins, like chicken breast and fish, incorporated as much plant-based protein as possible, prevents cognitive decline as we age. All our cognitive processes are impacted by proper brain nutrition. Our ability to learn, short-term, long-term memory, perception, processing, as well as communication. Here's another image, modified image, from Thais Martin Smesler et al. Study. How do we age well and keep our brains and bodies healthy? Subscribe to the Mind Diet, the Mediterranean Dash intervention for neurodegenerative delay. Dash was the dietary approach to stop hypertension. This is a colorful diet with whole foods, unprocessed or limitedly processed, with lean meats and vegetables and vegetable protein. Stay away from highly processed foods. Drink water, green tea, even coffee. Hydration is needed for all body and brain functions. Reduce or eliminate alcoholic beverages and sugar-based beverages. Consume micronutrients, vitamins B, K, magnesium, zinc, calcium for healthy brain function, antioxidants, protecting the brain, cells, and functions. This nutritional lifestyle leads to longer life, improved cognition, and less cognitive decline as we age. Neuroplasticity, or ability to learn, is enhanced. Finally, maintenance and building of neurons in our brain is supported and enhanced for better brain function. I thank you for viewing my presentation on nutrition and the brain. Now it's time for questions from the audience. As there is no audience members at this time, this will conclude my presentation.